WWE Elimination Chamber 2023 is in the books, a phenomenal main event. We were wondering how WWE was going to book this if it turned out that Sami was not going to win the title. How were they going to do it to satisfy not only the audience at home, but the crazy audience that was in Montreal? In Montreal tonight, we knew the atmosphere was going to be great. We knew we were on the doorstep of something really special because it's very rare in wrestling that you get these type of shows, these Money in the Bank 2011s, these, One Night Stand 2006s, where you have these really great atmospheres where you know the fans are going to be nuts and very heavily on the side of one particular performer. And when the stars align and that person is in their hometown, and you combine that with one of the better stories that WWE has told in the last couple of decades, they were set up for an amazing night here in Montreal. And I think that they delivered on that. And whatever they did at Elimination Chamber, if they want to stay the course, and the course from what we understand is to go with Roman and Cody and Usos against Sami and Owens. If you want to do that, you need to make sure the Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns match is booked in a way to where the fans aren't going to freak out in a bad way. You want them to boo Roman, you want Roman to have heat, but you don't want the fans to have, a hate for the creative process and the decision making and things like that. And I think they avoided that tonight. They really had everything laid out perfectly for them. The crowd was heavy on Sami, heavy on the fuck you Roman chants, and they were fun. They were a big part of this match. They were the third man in this match, I said tonight, and without them, this match wouldn't have been near as good or as special. And they soaked it up. They took their time in the beginning, paced around the ring a little bit. Roman played his role perfectly. This godlike character who does not sweat the environment no matter where he is. He was looking forward to going into Montreal and beating the hell out of Sami Zayn in front of his family and his hometown. He wanted that. And to see him just taking everything so relaxed and letting everybody know that he is not intimidated by his surroundings whatsoever. And he played it perfectly. Sami played his role perfectly. And by the time they finally got together, and it took them a while, but they had the classic lockup and they had their match, and Sami ended up giving Roman that great match. And that's what I think WWE accomplished in this match positively, that, even though Sami Zayn may not have won the title tonight, he had a career-defining performance. He made believers out of everybody, and he redeemed himself completely in this storyline, even in the loss, because look at all the stuff he kicked out of tonight. I mean, he was having superhuman Cena levels of resilience here, kicking out of some crazy stuff, a couple of spears, lots of interference, chair shots, everything he was kicking out every time, just when you thought the match was over, to the point where Roman was, frustrated, to where he was lashing out, "You ruined my life," and he's got such anger and hate towards Sami. And now on top of this, Sami's given him a run for his money and came very dangerously close to ending Roman's 900-day run as champion. At the end of the day, he's going to have earned Roman's respect. Roman is no longer going to look at Sami, as this lowly lackey anymore. Sami took him to the limit and took everything Roman had, and it took help, outside interference, ref bumps, and chair shots to get it done. Sami had no help. Kevin Owens didn't come out until the end. So this was essentially, if you include Paul Heyman, 4 against 1, because Paul Heyman got involved too, helping Roman Reigns locate a chair. And with everything going on, Sami was able to combat all of that. And then the miscue at the end, accidentally spearing Jay. And as I had predicted on Thursday, I had said that I wasn't sold on the idea of Jey Uso making some sort of a decision here. I wasn't sold on the idea of him turning on Sami completely, kicking his ass and unleashing some vicious attack on him. I felt like it would be more of a conflicted decision, to where he's going to make a choice, but it's going to be a reluctant one, and he's not going to want to hit Sami, but he's going to have to anyway. But now with the miscue, with the spear to Jey Uso accidentally, when he kind of stood in Roman's way, and Roman recreated the whole thing that he did with Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble, recreated that with Jey Uso, and made him be the one to make the choice and to hit Sami Zayn. But then Sami comes back with a spear, Roman moves out of the way, Jey gets hit. and goes out of the ring, and we didn't see him again, I don't think. I think he ended up leaving, going to the back, and it was just Jimmy Uso and Roman laying down the beating after the match was over until Kevin Owens came out to make the save and repay the favor for what Sami did to him, or for him, at the Royal Rumble. This is a stock-building performance. These are the performances you dream of. Yes, it would have been great to win the title, but I still think they accomplished a lot in building the star level of Sami Zayn with what they did here. And that's, at the end of the day, that's also extremely important. You got to find a way to make it okay for us to continue with Cody and Roman, to where poor Cody's not going to be sabotaged or booed out of every building because of this, and to try to keep the story going to where the story is what's going to keep the fans in. The dilemma with Jey Uso, Kevin Owens coming back, Sami Zayn's redemption, being able to fight on his own without any backup, without any help, and against all odds, and basically become a man before our very eyes. And Sami has grown a lot in these last few months, from being a lowly lackey and somebody desperate and thirsty for the attention of the bloodline, following them around like a lovesick little puppy, to now coming into his own and realizing his past mistakes and damn near beating Roman Reigns and ending that 900-day run. And that's all I wanted out of this match. I just wanted it to be executed in a way to where if Roman did remain champion, which we all assumed he would, that it satisfied me creatively, to where I wasn't like, oh my God, this is going to make WrestleMania suck now. Or where if they did something that just gave you a flat finish. Now, granted, this finish didn't please everybody. There's lots of people, like in Montreal, who are very disappointed Sami didn't win the title, but I think it could have gone a lot worse. And it does likely set up Owens and Sami Zayn against the Usos now, even though I think you got another week until you get there. Jey Uso still does not seem like he can figure out what he wants to do. But since he took that spear from Sami Zayn, maybe that's going to be the beginning of him being pushed back to his family, and then you can get that match. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ending the Usos' run at WrestleMania will be a great moment. I mean, it will not be a good WrestleMania for the Bloodline if they all lose. I mean, do you really think that's possible? As dominant as they've been, they're going to collapse so hard at WrestleMania? I'm not sold on the idea of Roman losing to Cody at this point. I still think they could continue to roll with those guys. But yeah, Owens and Sami now set to face the Usos at WrestleMania. That's the likely plan. And props to WWE. I got to give them credit, because that was my only hope. I've been talking about this for weeks. We talked about it last week. We talked about it in the predictions. We talked about it all during the watch along, that all that mattered to me is them not being stupid with their booking. Book a finish that continues to tell your story, and book a finish that's not going to cost or harm inadvertently any other pieces of talent that might have their own stories to tell at WrestleMania, because you know how the fans can be. So they were able to accomplish that, at least in my mind. But maybe that doesn't exist everywhere. You know, once I sign off here and I go on social media, maybe everybody's bitching. But I feel like that was executed well, and now we can put our focus on WrestleMania. And I still think we're in a win-win situation for a lot of people. Even though Sami didn't have his moment here, I think he's going to have a good one at WrestleMania, and I think Sami's moment could still come. I mentioned a scenario on my predictions video, and I think I tweeted it as well, where it would be cool, I think, if Sami Zayn came out on Monday and talked to Cody Rhodes in the ring, and almost like gave Cody Rhodes his blessing to take down Roman. You know, just, hey, no hard feelings. Go get him. Owens and I, we've got our own plans. I just want you to know that I support you taking down Roman Reigns. I wish you all the luck in the world. I just ask one favor. When you're WWE champion, you give me a title shot. And what if you were able to book Cody Rhodes against Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank in London? Think about that crowd for the title. Book it in the main event after the men's Money in the Bank match and do a one-night cash-in or something. Maybe Roman wins the briefcase and cashes in on poor Sami. Sami beats Cody for the title at Money in the Bank. Roman comes in, cashes in the briefcase, beats Sami, and regains his 2 championships. Maybe they'll do that. London will love that. So will the fans. But I think that the possibilities now are pretty good. And Cody, Any reservations I had about him or concerns I had, I don't have anymore because the last two promos he's had on TV have been absolutely amazing with Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn. I think Cody is great in these situations, and I think the story he's going to tell with Roman Reigns is going to be very fun. And I think it's going to be good, and I'm rooting for Cody at least right now. Unless everything here shits the bed in the next couple of weeks, the build to Cody and Roman is completely the drizzling shits, then maybe we have a problem, but I don't think it's going to be. I think Cody and Roman is going to be fun.